Since the dawn of civilization, humanity has crafted traditions that transcend time, shaping societies, beliefs, and daily life. Among these customs lies a mysterious and enduring practice: the prohibition of consuming certain meats, particularly pork. This ancient rule, revered by some and disregarded by others, is more than a dietary choice. It is a window into the soul of history, a testament to the interplay of faith, culture, and survival. Its roots stretch across millennia, weaving through sacred texts, harsh deserts, and the spiritual identity of entire nations. What compelled societies to impose such a command? Was it divine revelation, practical wisdom, or a profound symbol of devotion? As we unravel this story, we step into a world where the act of eating transcends sustenance, becoming a sacred bond with the divine. Join us in uncovering the layers of this tradition, where culture and spirituality intertwine in an eternal dance. In the beginning, when humanity walked amidst the echoes of creation, the people sought to understand the divine through the rhythms of their daily lives. In the sacred words passed down through the generations, a covenant was established, a bond between God and His chosen people. Among the many commands given to guide them, one stood out, profound and mysterious: the prohibition of consuming the flesh of the swine. From the holy writings of Leviticus came this decree: and the pig, because it has a divided hoof but does not chew the cud, is considered unclean. At first glance, these words seem simple, a straightforward command to abstain from a particular food. But within them lies a depth of meaning that transcends the physical, reaching into the very heart of faith and obedience. The people of Israel, wandering through the arid deserts under the watchful eye of their God, clung to these laws as both protection and devotion. The harsh environment offered no reprieve, water was scarce, and the blazing sun turned what little food they had into a dangerous gamble with spoilage and disease. Among the forbidden, the pig stood out, its meat prone to contamination, capable of bringing sickness to the camp. Yet, to reduce this prohibition to mere practicality would be to miss the greater truth. For the Israelites, these dietary laws were not just about survival, they were a sacred act of submission. By refraining from what was deemed unclean, they consecrated themselves as God's holy people, set apart from the nations around them. The act of obedience became an outward sign of their inward devotion, a reminder that their lives were not their own but belonged to the Creator who delivered them from bondage. Every meal prepared in accordance with these laws was an offering, every choice a declaration of faith. Centuries passed, and a new revelation arose, one that would echo across the deserts and mountains of the Middle East: the words of the Quran. The sacred text of Islam confirmed the prohibition of pork, intertwining it into the fabric of a new covenant. He has forbidden you from consuming dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine, and anything sacrificed in the name of other than Allah. For Muslims, this command was more than a tradition inherited from the past, it was a divine mandate, a tangible expression of their submission to Allah. The swine, viewed as an impure creature, symbolized a corruption both physical and spiritual. To consume it was to defy the purity demanded by the Creator, the step outside the bounds of His will. Yet again, practicality intertwined with faith. In the searing heat of the Middle Eastern sun, pork posed a particular threat, spoiling quickly and spreading disease. But these laws were never meant to stand on physical reasoning alone. Instead, they became a symbol of discipline, a reminder that the faithful are called to live in constant awareness of their connection to the divine. While the people of Israel and the followers of Islam held fast to these laws, another path was emerging, one that would forever change the understanding of purity and devotion. From within the traditions of Judaism came a man whose teachings would challenge the rigid boundaries of the law: Jesus of Nazareth, walking among the people. proclaimed a message that shifted the focus from outward actions to the inward state of the heart. Nothing that enters a person from the outside can defile them, he declared, calling his listeners to consider the true nature of purity. For the early followers of Christ, this teaching marked a turning point. The old dietary laws, once a cornerstone of identity and obedience, were no longer necessary for those who sought to live by grace. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus' words dismantled the barriers of tradition, inviting all people, Jew and Gentile alike, into the embrace of God's love. But the revelation did not end there. In the Acts of the Apostles, Peter, one of Jesus' closest followers, received a vision that would seal this transformation. In his dream, he saw a sheet descending from heaven, filled with all kinds of animals, clean and unclean alike. A voice commanded him, "Get up, Peter. Kill and eat." Peter, bound by the law, resisted, saying he had never eaten anything impure. But the voice responded, "Do not call anything impure that God has made clean." With this vision, the gates were thrown wide open. The dietary laws that had once defined a people now gave way to a universal message of inclusion and grace. No longer would what one ate separate the faithful from the impure. Instead, true purity would be found in the heart, in faith and the transformation of the soul. This new understanding reflected a shift in focus, from rules that governed the physical to a spirituality that embraced all people, regardless of their customs or heritage. Through these divergent paths, the story of the prohibition of pork reveals not just the unique practices of each faith, but the profound ways in which humanity has sought to connect with the divine. For some, the act of abstaining from certain foods became a sacred discipline, a constant reminder of their place in the divine plan. For others, freedom from these restrictions symbolized the boundless grace of a creator who called all people to himself, unburdened by the weight of the law. And yet, this story is not merely about what is eaten or forbidden. It is a testament to the enduring relationship between the physical and the spiritual, a reflection of humanity's unending search for meaning and purpose. In the choice to eat or refrain, to follow or transcend the law, lies a deeper truth, that in every act, no matter how small, we are called to honor the Creator, to live lives that reflect His love and grace. As we reflect on these traditions, let us consider the questions they raise. What drives the choices we make in faith? How do we balance the weight of tradition with the call to spiritual freedom? And most importantly, how do these practices unite us in our shared pursuit of the divine? This journey through history, faith, and culture invites us to see beyond our differences, to recognize the universal truths that bind us together, the call to obedience, the pursuit of purity, and the unshakable bond between humanity and the Creator. For whether we abstain or partake, follow the law or live in grace, we are all part of a greater story, a story of love, faith, and the eternal dance between the physical and the spiritual.